The Lucknow, you know, the National Botanical Garden. You know the National Botanical Research Institute, where it is? Where the National Botanical Research Institute? Don't you know? Lucknow. Lucknow National Botanical Research Institute. Where the largest herbarium is there in our India. That is also Lucknow. He has written Handbook of Lichens, the Compendium of Microlichens from India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. Endemic Lichens of India also has written. You should remember D.D. Avasti is the father of Indian lichenology. Eric Ecorius is the father of lichenology. Okay, and Swedner said about the dual nature of the lichens, and Toss Pribilli and McCutcheon unveiled the hidden thing of the lichens. The lichens are not the two organisms association. It is the association of three. Okay, these are the most important questions in the examination front of you. You know, based upon the nature of association, lichens are classified, categorized into three. It shows parasitic association, symbiotic association, and helotism type of the association. You know, majorly these all are symbiont, but we feel it as helotism, master and slavery relationship, king and slavery, master and slavery relationship. Why the fungi? It totally depend on algae for their food sources. Algae, it produce the food material only. They have no chance to regenerate their own generation also. They lost their reproductive capacity. They only for the as a slaver to produce, to arrange the food material to the fungi. But fungi giving the shelter to the algae, even to grow on the bare rocks, dry areas. Because of giving the shelter is giving the food and all the sources, and only fungi will reproduce. Fungi only take the reproduction, not algae is taking the reproduction, not algae is generating their own generation, next generation. Only fungi is performing the reproduction, and it produce their next generation. That's why these type of the symbiotic association, we call it as what it is. We call it as what it is. Helotism. What it is? Helotism. This type of the symbiotism, we call it as helotism. Are you able to say this? This type of the symbiotic master slavery mechanism, master slavery relationship. Okay. And then based upon the morphology also, lichens are divided now. You know, the crustose lichens, foliose, fruticose. You might have studied these three only, but so many are there: squamulose, leprose, filamentous, gelatinous, bassoid, lichen with no visible. So many are there. You see the various type of the lichen. Crustose lichens, which have the very thin layer, filmy layer, which form the very thin filmy layer upon the rocks. We can't separate that lichens from the rock, bare rocks. Very thin layer. The first foremost living organism upon the rocks bare rocks, the mountains. Because of this, because of this lichens only, we could able to see the grasses, herbs, crops, trees, even in the mountains, hills. Otherwise, mountains always be with the bare rocks only, if there is no lichens. Do you know it? You never think of it. Just you see it. That's it. Huh? Because of the lichens only, the hill forests, mountain forest is being formed. That area first occupied by the lichens. Zero seed succession, ecological successions, hydro seed, zero seed successions. We start from the bare rocks and it melt the rocks centimeters width, so that it occupied other lichens, folios, fruticose lichens, and then it occupied by the mosses, bryophytes, and then it will be available for the growth of the grasses, herbs, and then ultimately it will be make available for the growth of the trees, forests. Otherwise, hills, mountains will be with the bare rocks only. We are doing enjoy by seeing the green nature in the hills and mountains. That's because of the lichens, because of the natural farmers. Okay. The folios lichens, it's a leaf-like lobes. It having the leaf-like lobes and interlobes. The one of the folios lichen, Phamelia feltigera. We call it as dog lichens that we use for the hydrophobia, rabies, hydrophobia. And fruticose lichens, somewhat thick and branched, pendant branched structures. And next is quamulose lichens, which having the mossy tubes, overlapping scales and tubes like structure. The leprose lichens, the lichen word came from the leprose. I already told you. The granular powdery moss structure upon the rocks. The granular powdery moss structure upon the rocks. You see the pictures here. The crustose lichens are like this, very thin layer upon the rocks. You see the foliose lichens like a leaves upon the rocks. You see the fruticose lichens as a branches, tubes, branches like structure upon the rocks that are fruticose lichens. And you can see the leprose lichens, folded structures upon the rocks as like a leprosy symptoms that are leprose lichens. And gelatinous lichens. You might have seen gelatinous gummy, sticky structure upon the bark and dry wood trunks. The sticky blackish gum structures lichens are called as gelatinous lichens. And the squamulose lichens, feathery tubular structures. And filamentous lichens, filaments as like a fungi, as like a fungal filaments, which will be like a hyphae, mycelium like structure, filament like structures that are called as filamentous lichens. You see, as I told you, here and there as a patches, lichens here and there as a patches, not at all overlapped the rocks, here and there as a spots, that no visible thallus, lichens with no visible thallus, only fruiting bodies, no visible thallus. These are the various type of the lichen based upon their morphology. Okay, these also come from this also question will rise. And one more important question based upon the internal structure of the lichens. Two types are there, homoimerous and heteroimerous. You know what that means? Difference between the homoimerous and heteroimerous? Anybody? You can easily distinguish different equal space. You see, The filamentous structures are called as fungi, and the sporeless like structures are algae. These two equally occupy the space in the lichens that are called as nobody. Are you listening or sleeping? How many are there? About 28. Homoimeras. Equal. Homo means equal. Hetero means different. Homo means to equal and hetero means unequal. Here you see the most of the space occupied by the fungi filament and only limited space. You see here only limited space, this much of the space only occupied by the algal layer. That means algal layer limited to only little small part. The remaining all the part is the fungi filled with the fungi filaments. Mycelium, fungi hyphae, fungi mycelium, thalamus, upper cortex, inner cortex. In between that medulla, in the medulla, small part occupied by the algae. These are the four layers which occupies in the lichens. A majority part is occupied by the fungi, that is heteroimerous. Okay. These are the two types based upon their association in the internal structure of the lichens. Okay. And you know, from this also question raised from the special structures associated in the thallus. What are those special structures? Fruiting bodies, reproductive structure, vegetative structures, other than the normal plants, which having the extra special structures that are apothecium. You can see here. What it is, where it not happened. Okay. Apothecium, you can see here the porous space in the lichen thallus. The porous space, empty space. In the empty space like structure, it occupying the covering sheath with the lichen body, that is called as apothecium. Okay. And then here you can see the various type: Isidium,